Hello, Augies Worldwide. I'm Dave Kassler, amateur radio call sign KE0OG, here with another episode of Ask Dave. Today our question comes from Natalie Batista, KK4FLA. Very simple question, but very important. How does one renew his license? How to renew your license, okay? Now, if you're an ARRL member, they will send you a notice prior to the termination, so to remind you that you need to do this. The FCC puts it entirely on your back to watch when your renewal is due. You can renew up to 90 days prior to the expiration date, but not before that. And you can renew up to 2 years after the expiration date. Of course, if you have not renewed it by the time of the expiration date, you may not operate until you renew it. If you go past the 2-year grace period, you get to start over. Now, if you're an amateur extra and your license expires and it gets away from you like that, you will have to take a test again. But all you need to take is the technician test, and then your general or amateur extra license will be restored to you. Note that does not work for advanced, because advanced licenses are no longer being issued. So if you pass the technician test, you'll become a general again. And then you have to pass the amateur extra test to get your amateur extra. There is no more advanced. Okay, let's take a look over here on the screen. Okay. Okay, we're recording and we are at fcc.gov. fcc.gov, which you can see right there. Okay, and this has a lot of stuff. Their site isn't very wide, so I'm going to make it much smaller here. Okay. Now, it says about the FCC, proceedings and actions, licensing and databases. Okay? And we're going to go to the HAM database. Now, I want to mention something about this. I think a lot of people pick up from this that HAM is an acronym and it must be capitalized. No, you'll note that everything is capitalized. So ham is capitalized too. That doesn't mean that in ordinary use, ham radio or something like that, that it's capitalized. Okay, let's go into the ham database. Takes a little while to get there sometimes. Okay. I just did this a moment ago. So it should be operating. Okay, now we are in the ham database. And what we want to do is file. Okay. No, we haven't got there yet. Okay, here's the amateur radio service, and look at all the things that you can do here with this, okay? And we're going to go over here to Common Amateur Radio Filing Tasks, and click on that, and here is Common Amateur Filing Task, Renewing a License. Okay, so now let's click enter. Now it says no fee charge. That's going to change. Now we're going to file electronically using the universal licensing system. And it's got detailed instructions down here. Let's just go to the universal licensing system. Okay. And we're going to, it says file online, apply for a new license, renew, modify, etc. So we're going to file online. Okay, now this brings up the login page for the universal licensing system. Okay, and your FCC registration number comes from your license. If you've printed it out, you'll notice right here that there is an FRN. That's the number you need. So you see that I have mine in there, and I've already signed up for it, so I have a password. And I'm going to submit that. Okay. And what comes up is all the licenses I have, which is a grand total of 1, KE0OG. It gives my address, which is my P.O. box, the grant date, the effective date, and the expiration. And it's in 2022, February. That's coming up. So anytime after 11, let's see, the 2nd of, that's February. So anytime after November 18th, I can file. Now, if I come over here and try to renew licenses, it only brings up the ones that are eligible for renewal. Okay, mine is not eligible for renewal yet. Okay, so it doesn't show here. So this is all the further I can take you. But if you go in this far, you select the license you want to renew, you add it over here to licenses to renew, and then you continue. Now, okay, let's stop that right there. Okay. Now let's talk a little bit about renewal. Right now, there are no fees for renewing. There will be, starting in next year sometime. The fee for renewing will be about $35, I think, which will be good for the 10-year duration of the license. So that's a change. It's a change because Congress mandated it, that the FCC charge what it costs them to process a license. They originally came up with $50 for any kind of license, but with a lot of squawks from the amateur community, plus pointing out that the ARRL and the other volunteer examiner coordinators take a lot of burden off of the FCC. And so they lowered it to $35 just for the FCC. Thinking of it, that's less than $5 a year for it's $3.50 a year for the privilege of having your license. That's not a bad fee at all. Very reasonable. Okay, so there you have it. If you would like to help support this channel, you may do so by going to dcasler.com/support and picking a way that you find most helpful. I'd like to put in a plug for Patreon, which is on that page, because if you are a member of Patreon, which is a mechanism whereby you become a patron to me by giving a certain amount every month, and you can make it as little as you want or as much as you want. Most people are in the $5 or $10 range, although I had some higher. I want to talk a little bit about Patreon because we try to pick a video during the week and put it up on Patreon early before anybody else gets a chance to see it. So you have a chance to see an Ask Dave video early. Please also subscribe and click the bell and click like, and don't forget to comment. Until we next meet, 73.